Welcome in, everybody. I'm Joe with Wildcard Geckos, and you are watching Power Hour on the Geckoverse Channel. Tonight we have a very interesting guest. I actually moved into her neck of the woods several months back, and I've gotten to know her a little bit over the last few weeks. And we all like her over here, so we're going to have Christa on. But before we do that, make sure you like this video and go invite some of your friends to the live. We'll see you in about 60 seconds. Welcome in. How's everybody doing?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Welcome in, Christa. How you doing, Riys?
What's up, guys? Chilling.
I can't help but notice that your little lighting there is a lot better. What's going on, Riys? What do you got going on?
Yeah. I just moved the lamp from this side to this side, and
That's it.
Yeah, and it fixed the lighting.
Been doing this since November, bro. It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Christa, how's it going?
What up? Not much. Haven't seen you for a while.
Yeah, it's been like probably a week. Yeah, week.
Not even a week. Sunday with the show. So.
Oh yeah. Are you doing one this weekend?
No. I don't have enough animals to do shows, so I'm out of leopard geckos actually.
Nice.
I have a few ball pythons, but yeah, not enough to do shows. So I'll just probably do them online till I move.
I got you. And that move's coming up here soon, right?
Yeah, I'm planning on July right now, so it's still a little bit of way, but it'll come quick.
It was pretty interesting. I moved to Columbia, Missouri, and you think, okay, well, there's plenty of breeders in Phoenix, and then there won't be anybody in Columbia, Missouri. And as soon as I get online, I'm like, there's a whole ass breeder here.
I'm very small. I just started. I don't do many animals, but there's a few. You've met them. There's a few others in the community, and like St. Louis area, I think too. So
St. Louis, okay.
Yeah, there's. I don't think he's done much shows, but painted scales. He does ball pythons, but he does some leopard geckos too.
Okay.
He's just getting into them. What's up, Boza?
That's cool. And you've been doing this for about, what, 3 years now?
Yes, I am starting my third season. So I had my first clutch of the third season hatch like lay a week or two ago. So just starting, yeah.
Okay, so I was gonna ask that. So no babies yet?
No babies, no. Out of my girls, I have 2 that are ovulating. I haven't seen any others ovulate yet. So I don't know, maybe they're going later this year. I don't know. So
yeah. So to put a myth aside, does anybody ever put male and female together for the sake of, like, they'll obviously, if she doesn't want a pair, she's going to let them know, but it kind of ramp things up a bit, see if it kind of gets them ovulating.
What do you mean? Like, put them to hang out?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't. unless they're doing it for breeding purposes.
I haven't tried that actually. No.
What
I've been doing it for. Sorry.
Go ahead, Joe.
So I have been doing that for a couple of years now. So I've noticed that if I put them together, obviously they give the cues, and I won't do it with like a male that I know is a little too aggressive, but I'll keep an eye on them. You got to have the bandwidth to do it. Make sure you're keeping an eye on them, and I'll put them in there, and I notice like not even 10 days later, if a week, they're ovulating. So
really,
to me, it feels like you kind of helped it along. But then again, it could just be coincidence. But then it would have to be coincidence like a lot of times, right?
No,
So
I mean it makes sense because Dogtown. So he gave me a little trick, and it's to switch the hide. So I'll put the male hide with the female, and she'll be in there smelling it, and that'll trigger ovulation. So I won't put them together, but I'll switch the hides, and that works sometimes. So
it's a way better idea than what I just said.
Yeah.
that's
I'm
why
gonna
I
try
didn't
that.
put
I'll
them
try.
together unless they're gonna fight. If they're gonna fight, I'm not putting them together.
I can't believe I didn't think of that.
It's
That's
brilliant.
way
Shout out
better
to
than what I was
Angel.
doing.
Shout out to Angel.
Yeah. Thank you, Dogtown. When are
Mm.
you going to fix your shit and get on the show, bro? So, but yeah, so breeding season has started for you. I know you're moving in July.
Yeah, so I'm not going too heavy on it. If I can get some to hatch like beforehand, that'd be ideal.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm not trying to do too a lot until I move and then kind of see where everybody's at and
How
go from
big is your collection to move
as far as the leopard it goes, very, very small.
all
I have
together?
maybe
All together.
all together. I mean, ball pythons, I probably have like 45, and then leopard echoes, let's see, 10 maybe between my breeders. I've sold most of the babies, so yeah, 10 or 12, somewhere around there.
Okay,
Okay.
and then I wanted to ask, what is your plan of how you're gonna move that? Because we know other breeders that move large collections, and they tell us, but yeah, like Joe over here. But yeah,
Yeah.
with your collection being a little smaller, how are you gonna go about moving it across country?
Yeah, because I'll be moving from Missouri to Florida, so it's going to be a
Good.
2-day trip. So the plan is I'm going to have movers come in. That it's going to be the majority of the my things. I'm going to have like a U-Haul in my car and put all of the animal enclosures in there. That way I know when those will be there because the movers told me it may take 6 to 12 days to move all of my stuff, and I don't want to move down there with the animals and then wait on
Yeah.
the enclosures, and then I don't want to be out of the enclosures on heat. So I think that's doable for 2 days. It's just like some of these shows, people, take them or traveling for that period of time. So I'll put them in their own individual, appropriately sized, like deli cups with some bedding in there, and then yeah, put them in the car and just have to be really careful about placement. Because I've heard with ball pythons before, like even somebody did this too. They were moving, they had in the car that was getting direct sunlight and it like cooked them. So
Mhm.
even though they were like,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the car where there's like air conditioning and all that, and it's going to be July, so it's going to be hot. So I'll have to kind of sense and where that at, maybe on the floorboard or something like in the front seat.
Yeah,
Something.
or maybe even like a cover. I always try to cover mine so they don't get direct sunlight.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just gonna get like a big kind of shipping box. The snakes are gonna be in bags, so that makes it a little easier than the geckos, and then just kind of stack them essentially all tight in there, so they're not. Unless you guys have a better way, but doing some research, that's what I kind of have in my mind.
No, you're pretty good.
Yeah. No, that's it. I had two big boxes. Everything was in some sort of a meal prep container that I knew could stay sealed, and then I kind of like put foil on the windows because it reflects back.
Hmm.
But I just wanted to keep the windows completely inaccessible to the outdoor light.
Hmm.
So that's why I did it. And then it was a 2 day trip also. You don't leave them outside. So if you get a hotel on day one or night one or
Yep.
whatever, night two, bring them in with you.
Okay.
And don't tell the hotel people that you have them. They're going to argue with you and all that. I had to go to I was like, you know what? Just cancel the reservation. And I just walked across the street to like a Holiday Inn and got one there last minute. And if you have pets, no. And then I did the side door thing, to the elevator.
Yeah, because
Carried
they're worried about crackheads, dude. They're not worried about gecko people.
Well, I
the
won't tell them about that. I will have my other furry pets with me, so I will have to have a hotel with
Yeah.
pets. At least I'll have to find one, but I won't tell them about the.
Snakes and lizards.
Yeah, they don't need to. They don't need to know.
So
So.
before we get too far in, I wanted to backtrack for a second. So we know you, we've met you, but why don't you tell everybody else who you are, where you come from, what got you into this? Tell us your story real quickly before we move on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. So I'm Christa, or the name is Neuro-Fi Exotics. I'm currently in Missouri or Columbia. I moved here from Indiana for work. So I graduated vet school in 2021. Then I did something crazy, want to do a PhD in residency. So I'm finishing that up this year, hence why I'm kind of moving. I've always liked the reptiles. I had some growing up as a kid. I had like the green anoles. I did some amphibians with the fire-bellied toads. So I always really liked. My mom said no snakes or anything like that. It wasn't until probably COVID where I was home more from school and I was on YouTube watching breeders. That's where I kind of got into it. Got my first ball python, and that's where and I got my first gecko at a local show here at Columbia. And then I talked to a breeder. He was really energetic, was really happy about everything, and kind of got me thinking, oh, this would be maybe kind of cool to do. So I started going down the rabbit hole and researching things, and that was in 2023-ish that I kind of started getting more into it. Yeah, that summer.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So you're one of the people we got out of the COVID situation. We have a lot of those. I've noticed.
Yeah, just as pets then, and then I started the breeding, more accumulating animals for breeding in 2023. So I kept them, for years, want to make sure I liked them as a species first, and then went to a show and thought, oh, this would be kind of cool, this would be kind of neat, and then went from there.
Nice.
I gotcha.
What was your first gecko? What was it?
It was just a tangerine male.
Nice.
It's I forgot what all he had in him. Blood, maybe something. I think it was like a blood kind of lineage, but yeah.
Gotcha. Nice.
So you went to veterinary school, obviously. Are you a vet yet, or are you there?
Yep. Graduated in 2021, so I've been since then.
So when you moved here for work, it was to be a vet.
So after vet school, I wanted to specialize in lab animal medicine or research. Then I came here to specialize that because after vet school, you can
Okay.
just go work in a dog cat practice, but I wanted to do like more research and PhD. So then I came here for additional training, but I'd already had my DVM degree already. So
That's cool.
Damn.
That's awesome, actually. So
Smart.
future,
a lot of school.
Smart.
like a whole lifetime of school, 30 years.
I mean, somebody asked me today, and I was like, I lost count, and I was like, oh, it's 11 post high school, 11 years, so
Ooh.
it's a long while.
Hey, you're
Yeah.
there. And then you're moving to Florida, so you're going to be starting. Are you starting a practice? Or are you going into more school?
No,
What's the plan?
no more school, thankfully. No, I got hired by a biotech or like a drug development company down there in Florida, so I'll be helping using my research ability to kind of help them with their models and everything.
It's for medicine for vet care.
For humans, actually. So you'll have companies that want to put their drugs on the market and they have to do testing first. So
Yeah.
that's where they outsource it to this company that tests them, make sure there's any safety or toxicity studies, and then me as the vet make sure that the animals are well taken care of. There's a lot of regulations and government regulations, so I have to make sure those are, and then help the scientists with their model development and be like, you should maybe do it this way, or just kind of SOP management is what it is.
It's a very new age approach to. I became a vet, but I'm not going to start a practice. I'm actually going to go and care for animals. That's pretty interesting.
It's
Sounds like how Planet of the Apes started. So
yeah.
Like we're all thinking it, like everybody's thinking it, but exactly that, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to be caring for all different types of animals, then, not necessarily just reptiles.
Correct. Yeah. There are some reptiles in research, but not very much. It's mainly like your mice, rats, pigs, some dogs, not so much, but primates too. So it's a little bit of the gamut. Yeah.
I gotcha. That's a lot. We need exotic vets. Are you? Do you have any intention of ever doing anything like that?
So I do a little bit of consulting now on the side with it's all virtual, so it's online. It's mostly people that have husbandry issues, so it's very basic stuff that most breeders would know, like proper diet, UVB, calcium, like all those things that people still don't know how to do. And so I do that kind of consulting, help them. Oftentimes I refer them to go to an in-person vet because there's only so much I can do
yeah, virtually.
But I have a friend who also had like a monitor who he sent me a picture and was like, hey, what's wrong with her? And I'm like, looks like she's got a burn. So I told him to get some cream and she's like healing up now. So it's, even though I don't specialize, I could see myself maybe on my own time, like diving more into the literature on it. Cause I know basically I can help here and there, but I'm like I said, not a specialist by any means.
So, was the veterinarian part of it before reptiles, or did it come after the reptiles?
I would say before because I was in vet school when I got my first.
Okay.
Well, I guess when I was growing up, I had some as kids, but
Yeah.
through
Well,
college,
I was
I
trying to see like why you don't want to specialize in reptiles.
oh
You know what
specialized.
I mean? But if you were already doing it before the reptiles, that makes sense. So you kind of just have a passion for animals altogether.
Yes, I would say
So
so. The exotic route is very challenging.
Hmm.
It's hard financially as well because in vet school you're coming out with a lot of debt. Often to specialize in exotics, you have to do 1 year of internship. Where when I was in school, you're getting paid 20K, 30K, just enough to live. I don't know
yeah,
what it is now. Then you have to do a residency on top of that, which is another 3 years. And so, like financially, I was like, and then getting out, the salaries at that time weren't as good as what they were now. So coming out of school
Hmm.
with debt, and I liked the research side, I went kind of
yeah.
that route.
I gotcha.
So
That actually makes a lot more sense too, if you ask me. I mean, obviously you could go the exotic route, but that's an additional 4 years on top of the 11 you've spent
And
outside. So
financial.
yeah,
yeah, I could see myself doing like a consulting thing or kind of doing. I could do a CE in that, where I could kind of help and maybe get some more knowledge. But see, like
yeah.
continuing education, or I could take like a few classes here and there, maybe.
That would
So
be cool. Yeah,
yeah.
we definitely need them. I don't know that Florida needs them because they got everything out there. If what are you going to be near Daytona?
I'm gonna be near Naples, but Daytona is certainly like drivable. I'll definitely go to
Yeah,
that show.
Naples
yeah,
further south, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
southwest Florida. Yeah.
yeah.
hmm
They have different reptile shows every weekend, from what I understand, and it's just a big thing out there. So
Hmm.
if you have enough stock later on, you'll be busy. Now, I know that you're kind of like you say you have everything small right now, and you're kind of dwindling down your projects because of the move.
Yep.
When you get home, is it time to increase, or are you wanting to stay small?
I kind of want to stay small and really, really focus, just because I know this job is a big job. I'm kind of coming in as like a higher position or like a management, which is
Big
different.
wig.
I've been in school for a long time now. I have to learn how to manage people, so I know it's going to take a little
Hmm.
bit of me. They also want me to take like an exam and get boarded in lab animal medicine next year, and I would get like a pay increase from that. So I know I'm gonna be studying for that. So I think want to stay small just because I know I'm gonna be doing this full time, the vet side
Okay.
for who knows long, and I don't want to overburden myself or get burned out with
Yeah.
that and taking care of the reptiles.
All right. So then, do you have an idea in leopard geckos of what you are going to focus on? Like what morphs, what genetics?
I really like the tangerine trempers and like with the black knight in it, like just kind of getting different looks with that. But I like the tangerine trempers a lot, and just mixing different genes into that and
Okay.
kind of creating new stuff. We'll kind of see. I don't know. I just think
Yeah.
they're really pretty.
Yeah, anything with melanistic with tangerine in it is usually 100% of the time a win. It's really hard to not like those because they have such striking looks to them.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually, if you could, if you're working on those and kind of able to focus on them, you'd probably be able to refine something that we can all benefit from in the
Especially
future.
when they have that nice contrast.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're just I just and I find that they're so variable in their look, which is
Hmm.
really neat too. So I'm like, okay, even though I'm creating the same thing like genetically,
Yeah.
phenotypically, they look different. So I'm like, okay, I can kind of play around with that more. That's just how my mind works. I like being focused instead of doing. I feel like if I'm doing too many things at once, that they're not up to the standard that I'd want them to be. So
Yeah. So what are your goals then? Because it seems like you're going to be pretty busy with your vet stuff for a long time.
yep.
So once you stay small, I don't see too many shows in your future, if you're going to be busy, busy like that. So what are your goals, like short-term goals and long-term goals?
I still like doing the shows and that's getting my name out there. So I think there is some benefit to that too. as far as how many animals, and the shows just see how it goes and see how it compares to here in Missouri, because it's been interesting from that state. Like I sell some at shows, but it's not like a ton.
Hmm.
So I'm able to kind of do like once a month or once every other month, which was what I would like to do
Mhm.
there, and maybe have enough animal breeding for that, and just see how it goes on the online sales. Longer term, kind of just developing, I would say, like my name for myself. When people see my name or see me, they think of that project or something like that, and they kind of want to search out me for that, is what I want to kind of be known for in a sense.
Okay.
Having quality animals in those set
Yeah.
set
So
projects.
like a niche project, niche market.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. And maybe, I don't know, financially later on, maybe retire early or something like that, and then kind of scale it up and then just do this. That's way long in the future, but I
Be
could see myself.
75
Yeah.
cleaning gecko poop.
I don't know about battle, but like, retire a little early or something.
I'll say she's younger than both of us, man. That 75 is a long ways away.
Yeah,
Yes.
she said retired, dude. I didn't say she looks 75. I was saying like in the future.
I'm literally retired. I don't,
But yeah, but you're like 102.
Yeah. Retire like 50s or something. You still got a lot of time
I,
left.
I mean, I'm painting my house right now, but I'm doing the work. But like,
Such a
I find
retired
things
man
to do,
too.
and I'm retired. So anyway, I'm 44. She'll be retired by the time she's 34 if she's
Shoot, I
lucky.
hope I can
So
retire in 10 years. It'd be
there
nice
you go. You can do it.
one day, dude.
Good.
So that's pretty
Speaking
cool
of,
though. Go ahead, go
yeah,
ahead.
speaking of your name, obviously you picked Neuro-Fi. Um,
Mm,
you know, one of the things I know you wanted to talk about was how to build a name,
yeah.
trustworthy name in the community. But
Yeah.
before that, I'd like to know a little bit about how you chose your name,
Yeah.
your handle. I'm sure it had a lot to do with snakes and geckos, or maybe it was just one or the other.
Yeah, like I put exotics to be all encompassing because I didn't want to like dig myself in a hole in case there was another species that I liked. So I just added the knobtail geckos or something. So that's what I kind of thought in the beginning. And I didn't
Yep.
want to just put my name and reptiles, or I want to be a little bit different. So I wanted
Yeah.
something that goes with what I like, so science. And I used Chat GPT to play around with it, and it spit out this. And I was like, I could just kind of like the way how it rolled off the tongue. And I was like, oh, it fits me from a scientific, intellectual kind of background. And you have to
Yeah,
think a lot with breeding animals and very strategic. So I felt like it fit that too.
Okay.
I like that you said all encompassing. I grew up in California. Everyone there just says totally.
Totally, dude. Totally.
She said all encompassing, and I was like, I hate that I know that, but I do. I know that it's everybody's like totally, totally, and then somebody said, "What's another way to say that?" All encompassing. I wanted to make sure I, made a big deal of it. That way, other
Yeah.
people now know, and they will
Mhm.
think of that in 20 years when it comes across their screen. So,
Yeah, they're just gonna be like, totally, dude.
yeah,
Totally. All encompassing, dude.
then they're gonna look you up on Morph Market and buy one of your animals. You're welcome.
That'd be
So,
ideal.
yep. Oh man.
So building that name for yourself though and getting it out there, brand awareness, like is that what got you into podcasting as well? Is like to help market yourself and put yourself out there?
That was part of it too. MJ came to me directly and asked me, so it wasn't my
Nice.
own. I didn't ask to do it. He saw me on another show. They had me on
Okay.
and liked just the way I presented myself and reached out to me that week and was like, "Hey, I have this idea. Do you want to come on?" And I want it to be mainly females and this. I was like, "Sure, yeah, I'll give it a shot. Help me build my name and get people out there learn too. I love to learn, so getting people from different species and backgrounds was great too. And I think it's helped a lot of my interpersonal skills. I've always been kind of quiet and shy, so it's helped me a
You
lot.
don't say.
Standpoint, yeah, no, I am. I have been shy, and I can. So
You didn't seem shy at the expo.
yeah, I've been doing it for. I'm coming up a year, so it's helped me.
Yeah,
Yeah, at the expo, yeah, like in person, I have opened up a lot more now.
that's
So.
good.
Mm.
So you had fun at the Southeast Expo?
Oh yeah, that's a very nice show. I reached out to Bob, and he's gonna let me vend that in the future. I told him not this August because I'm going to be busy moving, but going forward, I would like to vend there.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, sure. So,
Okay. Okay. Maybe we'll be showing a table.
yeah.
I think it's interesting how much you move around too, because I've known Reese over a year now, but I've never actually met him, not in
Mhm.
person. But you've met both of us in
Yeah.
person, so it's
In
kind
the
of
same week, strangely.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
probably should get down to where do you live again, man? You live in Georgia, right?
Marietta, Georgia. Yeah.
Marietta, Georgia. I know somebody else that lives there. I know I do.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They surfed their way up here.
Oh yeah, Surfside. Yeah, my girl Jen.
Talk to them too. I think it's important to travel to these shows, even if you're not like vending, like still like traveling, meeting people. A lot of this is networking, and if people can put a face to the name and see in person, I think it goes a long way for going forward when a lot of stuff's virtual or online. I think it helps in that standpoint.
Nah, for sure. Because that's how I met Jeff. That's how I met you. That's how I met Seth.
Mm,
Brett from Bayside, Matt.
mm,
Yeah. If it wasn't for the expos, I wouldn't have met a lot of these people that we talk to and see and interact with online through social media. So I
Yeah.
say you definitely need to get out there and go to outside of your state and outside of local expos, the bigger stuff. So
mhm,
I got a couple of quick questions for your first year, if I could take you back there.
mm.
Um, so looking back at your first year, what was the biggest lesson that you think you learned about leopard geckos, and how do you apply that to breeding today?
It's a good question. I would say holding back more. I didn't
Mhm.
hold back like enough.
Okay.
So I've kind of taken that standpoint and holding them back, as well as maybe not putting them up for sale originally. Because there's some that I sold, and then they'll send me the picture. I'm like, damn, like that thing looks really good. So I've kind of
yep.
learned where I hold on to them a little bit more, maybe seeing what they kind of develop, and then before I actually start like releasing
Yeah.
them. The first year was more of like a proof of concept for me. Like, can I sell these? So I didn't even make them. I made maybe like 20 babies, maybe 25 babies, just because I wanted to make sure I could actually,
Handle everything.
yeah, sell them before I actually started putting more money into it or making more. So
All right, Reese, let's go with you, man. If you could go back to your first year and think about, your biggest lesson you've learned from then to now, just to kind of add to what she just said. Um, Obviously, she'd hold back more. What would you do different?
Invest more. I was very cheap and not investing properly. I saw something at an expo. I didn't know much. I'd grab it. Saw something at the reptile store. I'd grab it. I would try to do the whole research and figure out, make sure it is what it is, but that was so much more stressful and wasting time versus just saving up and investing in something that worth it. So yeah, just investing more in myself and in what I'm doing and what I'm building.
Okay.
So yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
Gotcha.
What about you, Joe? What did you learn from your first year?
Back in the day.
So I guess
100
if
years
I
ago.
were to go back and like stand there and talk to myself, I would say, hey, man, look into racks, look into what you like as racks. Cause I'm a builder. I can use every tool. I can build whatever you put in front of me. And, um, I designed my own racks and they were perfect. You're talking, they held like 33 geckos, nice clear tubs. They were all made out of wood and I could pick them up because they were less than 90 pounds with 4 fingers, so I could move them easily. And,
Hmm.
33 is not bad. So, um, I would just say get your racks first, maybe get a couple of tanks going and start keeping the animals. Realize you can work with them, that you can keep them alive, that you know how to do all that. But uniform your racks if you're going to be a breeder. And then once you have all the setup, um, join the community and figure out who's who and who to not be with on the who's who. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Joe likes to do that.
yeah.
Likes to
Sorry.
flex the gorilla knuckles.
Uh,
Anyway,
sorry.
so
Sorry, I said I could build things. Sorry, Angel.
Angel,
I,
Angel, you
I'm
made Joe
not.
blush. Look at
I'm
that.
not
I,
actually sorry, bro. I'm not
I
actually
wish
sorry.
I could build things. I'm a terrible builder.
That's why you just call Bob. He'll come build it. But you're building your life, so you're a different kind of builder. So can't count yourself out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I appreciate you asking me the question back, Reese. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Appreciate
I
you.
never get to answer any questions. That's cool.
Oh, sure.
Krista, this isn't about me. This is about you. So, Florida, do you have anybody down there waiting for you?
I have a lot of friends in the Miami area, more on like the ball python side. I think they're about maybe 2 hours from where I'll be at. So I'm looking forward to seeing them a little bit more. They do a lot of shows.
Okay.
So yeah. Not many leopard gecko people though. Can't think of any of them. Yeah. Those are all ball python guys.
Just to
That's it.
jump back though, because we
Yeah.
never actually touched on it.
Mhm.
Building within the community and building your name and building what we got going on. So obviously, me and Joe take the approach of education and try to teach and lead by example. Um, what works for you? What helps you build and go forward and do all that stuff?
I think just doing this, like getting your name out there, like face the name, like I said, doing shows, going to some outside my area, like doing that brand and seeing how people put a face to the name and seeing how you carry yourself, how you talk to people. I think all goes a long way too. I think it will take some time for maybe the animals to kind of speak to themselves on the breeding part. So I think now just focusing on meeting people. I think
Selling yourself
yeah,
versus selling the geckos.
yeah, social media is showing pictures, be more proactive on that. Sometimes I get a little lackadaisical and I don't post stuff maybe as much as I should
Lackadaisical.
on the gecko side. I think that could help too. It
You
just
are good for terms, man. I love words. Yes.
adds a lot of reading in books. Yeah.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
I do a lot of book reading. I don't know if I should have said that because Angel's watching, but yeah, I do. I do some book reading too. So I like it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. From a marketing standpoint, that actually sounds good too. And also, you're one of us, so you do your own podcasting.
Mm.
Is it weekly or it is weekly, right?
It's weekly, Sunday nights. Yes.
Okay.
Trap Talk Network on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, I watch a lot of those episodes, and they're pretty interesting. It's like an all girls thing going on. And then obviously, if I don't know MJ, we have shook hands before, but I liked him a lot, and I watch his show. He does it. He does
He's
one of the
great.
best shows.
He's
Yeah.
great. I've learned.
Yeah,
I've learned
I
as
met
much.
him at the last one, or you introduced me to him at the
Yeah.
Southeast show. So yeah,
He's been a
Okay.
great mentor for me. One of my best friends and
that's
brother to
awesome.
me. Really. Yeah.
No,
I'm
that's
gonna cry.
awesome. So is he gonna miss you when you move? Obviously, are you gonna be able to continue with the
Yeah.
podcast, or are you gonna? Yeah, you're
Yeah.
gonna
I
have
think
time to do
so.
it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That
Okay,
was Sunday
we're gonna
nights.
hold you accountable.
If I'm on call or something, I can always do like a pre-record too. I just gotta
Yeah.
balance it a little bit.
True.
I could do a pre-record if I'm gonna be on call or something like that. But yeah, oh yeah, I won't let him down. No.
That's a
Okay.
little harder than you think it is when you got a busy schedule. Reese and I did a pre-record like a week ago, bro, and
Yeah, still
I'm
has a
still editing it because it was 30. It's 30 whole minutes long, and like I got a busy ass retired life, and so it's I don't know. I just been, but yeah. So, but pre-recording's fine as long as there's not a lot of edits. But we'll get there. And then on top of that, I'm in school. So you're out of school, I'm in school, and so I'm trying to fit everything in. But
Yeah.
um,
yeah. I'm just winging it, dude. I'm just
Trying to
out here
finish
living
up.
life.
Must be nice.
Out
Must
here
be nice.
ADHD winging it.
Reese is like squirrel.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
So go
go ahead,
ahead.
Reese.
Oh, we're so polite tonight.
I
Um,
know.
no, so what I was gonna ask you, have you ran into any bad dealings within the community? Any like bad purchases? You got a gecko, it wasn't like what it was supposed to be, or got sick and the breeder was bad about it. Have you gone through any like bad situation like that?
Yeah, I've gone through two, I would say.
Two.
One of
Dang.
I'll kind of describe them. One I got, it was described as a black knight or whatever, like nothing else
Mhm.
was in the listing. So like, okay, pure black knight, whatever. So I posted it because I was super excited in a group and I posted where I got it from and I just got like hounded. Like people were like, "That's not a pure black knight. It's got other heads in it. You know, it's all in it." And I was like, "No, I figured that they would have listed that in the listing." So I ended up just reselling that gecko immediately to somebody local. I told them, "Hey, it could be this, it could be that. This is where I got it from, FYI." And they were like, totally fine with buying it. So I'm like, all right, I did my due diligence, but I didn't feel very good about keeping that animal. The other one was, I would say, another breeder that was, I don't know, a little harsh to me, I think, in the beginning, coming in and doing it. He tried to get me not to do shows or come out or anything like that. Like, yeah, sent me a text like the day before a show and was like, "I'm bringing a lot more animals than you. I'm going to beat you on price." Like, he said he was.
Are you serious?
Oh,
Came
yeah,
at you like that?
yeah. I mean, then he said, after I didn't respond, he said he was kidding, and then he came up to me
Oh,
at the show and talked to me in person. But, like, I didn't really see that as kidding when you just sent all of that and, you
yeah.
know.
I was about to say, yo, come up.
I'm reading it and I was like, okay, but I dealt with him a couple times. Yeah, just thought he
So I
came
was
up.
gonna ask, so how do you navigate those situations, or how have you learned to navigate those to do better, or I guess run into it less if you can? You know what I mean? As
Physical
you bring,
violence.
yeah,
Yeah, for that situation, one just kind of ignoring like I did, like not feeding into it. Just kind of taking it as like I must be doing something right because I mean, I feel like you. I don't want to say he's like a hater or whatever, but
got a
if
hater.
you kind
Yeah.
of, if you got, I was like, okay, I'm doing something okay. Like he kind of feels a little bit threatened by me coming to the show. So I'm like, I'm just going to do my thing and just not
Yeah,
even care about it. This is not my full source of income. It's just something for fun that I like to do. I'm not going to let somebody take that enjoyment from it. So I think it's just having an
good,
attitude, being kind in person, but also being upfront. And I told him, I was like, hey, the way that came across, I was kind of a jerk. So being upfront and standing my ground too, I think is
good,
important.
good. I'm glad you did that. I've actually heard people get out of the hobby because they had a bad experience, or a bunch of people they've never met on the internet's telling them what they're doing is wrong, and they get
Mhm.
overwhelmed and leave. And it doesn't make sense to me because I'm like, you've never seen these people. It's the internet. A block button is right there. Boom, 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 boom. Now nobody's saying anything to you, and then do what
Yeah.
makes you happy. You know what I mean? But to let that pressure of non-existent people force you out of something that you like to do is just crazy
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad you persevered. That's cool.
Yeah. He's out now. So I'm like, huh.
See.
There you go. That's one of the things when deciding whether or not to do a podcast. My biggest answer in the beginning was, nah, I don't want to do it. I'm just not, into it enough. And then one thing that I did decide was I really hope that the positivity that we could put out there would cause other people that might get discouraged and jump out to stick
Hmm.
around and realize that they can reach out to like people like us that watch the show or that come on the show. And we have everybody on here. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. um, I hope to, bring on many people in the future, just kind of like how you do with your podcast. You got a lot of different people that come on, and
Yeah.
Yep.
it's very interesting watch. But
Learn a lot because I do. I mean, MJ wanted me to focus on the females. That's what I've kind of done for the most part. But bringing on them from different species because I like learning and
Yeah.
that's why I bring anybody on really in that aspect. So
okay, switching gears a little bit. Obviously, we have the privilege of having a vet on right now, which is kind of cool. I know that you don't specialize in reptiles, but you could totally give advice, right?
yeah.
Is there anything in your
Totally.
care that you could recommend to the rest of us, like a supplement we don't know about, a time frame, a feeding schedule,
Any
whatever it is you do
secret,
that might be different than what we do?
I
That you
any
feel
can help.
veterinarian secrets?
I feel
Yeah.
like it's pretty basic stuff to be honest. I mean, I
What about
do
medicines?
medicines. I haven't had to really give any medicine quite yet for mine. As far as like the parasites, like I kind of check them myself like periodically, but I'm very much not always say anti-treatment, but only want to treat when I need to because I've seen resistance and stuff with that, and I don't want to lead into that if I'm treating something that doesn't need to be
Yeah.
treated.
What
It kind
exactly is resistance? Sorry.
So it's when you're you have like a bacteria or something that genetically over time, it could be a parasite too, but genetically over time, they can, within their own genome, develop a resistance to the medication that we're given so that they're not able to be killed by it.
So just like people can. Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's the same thing. I've seen it in more so in the antibiotics, but like in your flea and tick, I've seen that a lot too with some
I think
products. It
roaches
doesn't work.
too, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, mites like on the ball python side could be a thing too, but I see a lot in
Mosquitoes.
fleas with dogs. Yeah.
Now you say you test it yourself. Um,
I do
how can
like
we
some
test it ourselves? Can we do it, or do we have to go to school for that?
Are you doing like fecal samples or like how are you testing?
fecal samples. Yeah, you could get like a microscope and like kind of teach yourself type of thing. I mean, you have to get like the fluids and stuff to be able to do it. But
Hmm.
like one of my Python friends actually got a microscope to do parasite fecals on his chameleons. You just have to train yourself to look for the parasite that you're looking
Yeah.
for, like, know what you're looking for, but
Mhm.
you could totally do it yourself, I think.
So
You
Bubba
could do it right.
actually showed us that, bro. Remember, he's showed us the telescope, the microscope you need to get. He has like a whole slideshow of each
Yeah,
parasite
but
and what it looks
Papa does
like.
it.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it has the
because I've
whole
gotten it.
setup, dude. He sent it to me
Yeah.
before. I just never got the microscope, but I think actually Jen did. That's where she got it from Surfside. So yeah, we talked about that
Okay.
before. So is that the only home remedy that we can do? I guess that are non-vet people is just microscope and fecal testing.
I would say so. I would say, yeah. Trying to think of anything else you probably have to go like in person to try to get a prescription for, but like an antibiotic or something. Yeah, I would say fecal is something you can do and check for you.
Okay.
Gotcha. Um, let's see. When you get to Florida, obviously you got your new job going, and you have the animals you want. Are you going to increase snakes, or is it somewhere you
Um,
kind of have enough?
I kind of have enough. It's just breeding them and now just keeping the whole back, so moving stuff forward. I think yeah, I would say I have the pieces that I want. It's so hard though, because you see like stuff pop up, you're like, I could use it, that'd be cool. So it's me
Mhm.
just restraining myself, and I don't need more. I kind of have
Yeah,
what I need.
that's exactly how I am with leopard geckos. I actually put myself on a freeze. I had to turn off cards. I just like blocked them and then gave the codes to my wife.
It's funny.
That's
I got a
crazy.
real problem, and I've gotten around it like 3 times.
It's I need to save money for this move, so it's like okay, I cannot. But there, I do have a few Lebrigos saved on my Morph Mark, and I'm like, I'm so like so tempted. I mean,
They're still there when I get to Florida.
I know. So I'm like, uh,
Hit them up and be like, "You got Afterpay?"
there's a few. I'm like, well, in my head, I'm like, okay, what's like two more, right? What's like three more? It's not like I have a ton of
We-
them.
I was
Anyway,
just making fun of a past guest we had on here, Brendan, Gecko Freaks, because yeah, back he got a gecko off of me, and I remember a couple months ago he was just like, "Yeah, this is it, no more geckos." And then he
Yeah,
just got like a shipment of
so
like 5 boxes this week with more geckos. And I literally text him that. I said, "No more geckos, huh?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
after this." I'm like, we all say this, dude. It's just funny when you hear everybody say it, like, "Yeah, no more, no more. I'm cutting off." And then a week later, it's always like a week later too, where it's like 5 geckos, and you're like, "What are
that's
you doing,
me.
dude?"
That's me and
We're
my
just
ball python groups. I'll be
yeah,
like,
we're just
I'm done.
reptile crackheads, man. Just give me the
No,
morph. Give me the
I'll,
morph, man.
I'll post something. No, I'm really there's like three that I like, but that's it. That's it. So.
I got
So, do you hope to like contribute to a morph one day? Do you like hope to have like your own line versus like you said you like the tangerine tremper stuff and you want to improve on it, but is there
Yeah.
like a goal in that I'm gonna hit this and I want to be famous or not famous, but like known for this, or just having quality in general?
I think just having quality in general and just seeing how stuff unfolds. I don't want to put the cart before the horse because I know there's a lot. Like some people come out like, "Oh, this is like my line," but like, is it really? And I don't want to
Yeah, I like that you said, "Is it?"
do. I don't want to do any. I'm not saying. I just
Is
don't want
it,
to
dude?
do any of that. I'll work with stuff and what pops out and work on a certain look that I like and see how it. But I don't. Yeah, it's not the goal for me right now. But it'd be cool if something happens like that.
Okay. So what else are you working with, dude? Besides Tangerine Trimpers and Black Knight? Because I saw you getting rid of the panda stuff. So
Yeah, just trying to focus more on Tangerine, Tremper. I have some Firebolt in there as well. Black Knight, and then just adding a few more, like maybe white and yellow. I'd like to get. I have some like bandit stuff in there too, or some other bold
okay,
crossing
so you got
stuff.
a cool little gene pool.
There's some clown too, even though it's not my favorite, but something that could be
That
worked.
gecko or the clown line or project?
Let's say clown line
I
Okay.
feel you. I was there too.
project. Yeah,
I was
I
there
There's a,
too.
there's a lot of different emerines, and
There is.
everybody likes one of them over the other. That makes a lot of sense. But yeah, clown to me, it's like one of the best things. But some people, it's not for them. But there's just so much you can do with it. You know what I mean? Like you take a clown just about any direction, and you're happy with the result. So for me, as
So
Same with
emerines
you.
go,
seeing yours, I liked because those were like pretty good size. Because I get twisted up when they look so good as babies, and you see them as adults and they look normal. So then that's where I get kind of like not trusting on that aspect of
Same.
it.
Same. That's exactly why I was a clown hater for the first 4 years. And then last year, I ended up getting a group of some good ones from Joe here in Bayside, and I try to get some better looking ones. So I was like, all right, maybe I just have crappy clown stuff. So maybe
Yeah.
if I get better clown stuff, maybe I'll like it. And so when these babies hatch, we'll see this season if I become a clown lover.
Lover.
you know,
Yeah, that's just my thing with it. It's just
Yeah.
getting them to
I
look.
do feel you. They're nice, really nice as babies, look super dope. And then yeah, you see it as an adult, and you're like, "What is that? The same gecko?" And it's just yellow, a couple spots, or whatever. So they might faintly still have the little orange in the back, but it's not as nice as it once was. But
Yep.
I have seen a couple nice ones that make me go, you know what? If I can keep it like that, then I'll like it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Saw some at Joe's and I was like, okay, yeah, these are. I
Yeah.
like
So
those. They're nice.
Joe's making me a clown like lover a little bit.
I'm not trying to. I know you feel you how you feel
He
about
wants
them,
to be
but
in the circus. He wants
there's
to be in the
I
circus.
mean, when you see certain ones, it's just I don't know. I just can't look away. That's
Like I
all it is.
have trust issues because of
I've been
this.
obsessed with green though on geckos since I started. So just
Hmm.
seeing them like that for me is has always been a positive. So and then working with them for like literally the entire time I've been breeding, I've seen all the different things that I can do with them, and yeah, it's kind of I don't know. It's just my favorite emerine. It's one of them,
Mm-hmm.
What other
So
morphs do you not like? I like this game.
Me, that I don't like.
you're
What
gonna get this
morphs
girl
do you not
canceled.
like?
I mean, there's like the obvious ones, like Lemon Frost, maybe like Enigma, because of those
Yeah.
issues there. I would say what? There's some snow lines where I'm kind of like, I don't know. I like the pop and color and like the contrast. I don't.
Which
I'm
snow
trying to.
line?
I'm trying to remember. I
This will
think
get you canceled.
maybe like Gem, maybe
Oh,
Gemstone,
see,
maybe.
canceled.
I think
Reese
I don't
loves
know.
Gem Snow.
No, that's you, dude. I'm an Albie guy,
I'll
but
be.
I
Oh,
was
that's the other one. Yeah, I don't care for that one.
yeah, canceled, dude. So, all right, everybody have a good night. We'll see you later.
It's just
Uh, Tune
it's
in
like
next week.
the color
All
and the
right.
pop. That's just me.
You got it.
How are you at answering questions rapid fire? I want to
I don't
see
know.
where your mind's at with this.
Uh, sure. I've taken some exams rapid fire, so
All
maybe. I
right.
don't know. Depends on the day.
All right, we're gonna do five. Have you ever had a gecko with a really weird habit, and what was it?
I haven't had any with a weird habit. All mine are normal.
If your gecko could talk for a day, what would you think it would say about you?
Probably I don't give them enough mealworms, especially like the chubby girls that need to slim down a little bit. They always want to eat, and yeah.
Okay, scratch weird, go with funny. Has your gecko ever done anything funny? Any of them?
Yeah, sometimes at shows where I have like the babies and there was like one like on its back, just kind of like messing with the lid and had to flip it over. Just would do that the whole day. Just wanted to be on its back for what it never does that here. Just at the show it was, so it was just strange.
All right. What's the craziest, most unexpected reaction that you've had from somebody when they found out that you keep this many animals?
Ooh, uh, how do you feed all of them?
Yeah. What's the
Basically.
biggest myth or misconception about leopard geckos that you wish people would stop believing?
Hmm. That they're like, I guess I had this at a one show where somebody was like, "Oh, they're not really exotic," and I was like, "What does that even mean?" I think showing people that they come in all these wild colors, because people think of a leopard gecko, they think of your traditional like yellow
Yeah.
with black dots. So I think incorporating more of like the different colors and get people more excited about that would be, I think, like a misconception that they're not exotic enough or something.
No, I definitely agree with that. A lot of us are working pretty hard to try to bring this back around. There's just so much to work with now, and then with social media and everything like that, you can see all these really great other species out there, and so it kind of puts, yours has been around for 40 something years, so you're like,
Yeah.
all right. But man, there's so much you can do with them. To me, it's almost like there's like a small version of evolution that happens every year in your, because if you could change the way they look year by year by year with selective breeding, you have something to work with here. And for me, that's more interesting than most other things.
Nice.
Um,
Yeah, I would.
Ball pythons. Am I correct in saying that they also can move around with their phenotypes and things like that very quickly?
I wouldn't say very quickly. I think just because it takes a long time for them to grow up and mature and breed, you definitely don't see those changes very quickly, no. But I think it can happen because there will be some. You have like one gene, but there's variations of that gene and how it looks. A strong phenotype versus it's weak. So I think that's something that it'll just take time to develop on the snake side.
Okay. Now, as a fellow podcaster, I wanted to run something by you just because it's an idea that I've had for a while, and I kind of want to put it out there so others can maybe help me think it up. But I thought of having it's almost like a podcaster's retreat where a lot of us that are doing this and we're still currently active, and maybe a few that have currently been, they've gotten out of it a little bit. Um, I thought about like a center of the country meetup spot, like an Airbnb or something, where everybody kind of spends the weekend with animals, going live, hanging out with each other, creating content if they want to, or
Yeah.
everybody gets on everybody's podcast live, and I thought this could be something that in the future would be really interesting to do with Leo breeders, and it might bring a little bit of attention to, our hobby. Would that be something that if we all did it, you'd be interested in traveling all the way from Florida to the center of the country to do? Or
Oh, for sure. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I think it's a pretty good idea too, especially with Leo specifically, because you don't see a lot of that out there in the podcasting space as it is. Like when I first got in, I think that's why I just gravitated more towards the ball pythons
mm,
first and in those communities because I was seeing more of it on the podcasting. It was very hard to find leopard gecko
Yeah.
content for me on YouTube, and then I get sucked into ones that aren't as ethical or those type of people.
Yeah.
So that kind of turned me off from it a little bit because I was like, how can I
yeah,
tell if these people are good or not? There's hardly anything out there anyways. So yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, no, definitely. And as a community, I know that we're all kind of growing. I think that there was a small window where there was some people who have been in the hobby a really long time and become a little jaded,
Mm.
just because there's a lot going around. But
Hmm.
a lot of us have stuck around, and there's been some good that's come out of that. And we've got a lot of very interesting and I don't know, very excited people that you can learn from, people who've been around for a very long time, and they help us with our pairings and things like that. I would love to get into a room, so that I don't have to go a year and a half without meeting the guy I do a podcast with, every single week.
Yep.
This guy, right? I'm pointing the right way, right? So yeah, that would be really cool. Reese, what do you think about that, man?
I think, dude, we should have more competitions.
Yeah.
Like how Asia and Indonesia, they have these group meetups, kind of like what you're talking about, where they bring geckos and they have competitions of different morphs. So I guess like the best stripe or best whatever it is, but they get
Yeah.
together and it's kind of like a hangout. And I've seen those videos. I don't know what they're talking about, but they look like they're having fun, and it looks like fun. And I would like to do those here. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I think
agree.
that would help. I think that would help bring everybody together. We would see things more in person versus online. It would be easier to have educational conferences there and be,
Mhm.
you know, talk about geckos while we're there. You know what I mean? Versus like a bigger reptile show where it's broader and there's more than just the Leo talk. But yeah, those competitions, they seem like it'd be fun and cool. And like I come from the b-boy background, so it's pretty much the same thing. We would go to local competitions and battle and hang out, and you'd see somebody you battle all the time, but you never hung out with them outside of the competition. So it'd be like a regular thing. So kind of like the same thing with the geckos. We just have little regular competitions and just have fun showing off geckos and what we produce.
Yeah, that'd be a
I
lot
think
of
that'll bring people together more.
fun. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, we are nearing the last 5 minutes. We're actually under 4 for the hour. I wanted to finish off with our biggest question that we ask everybody, and that's your Mount Rushmore. I want to know the people you look up to the most. Top 4. It could be, hopefully, it's you have 4 Leo breeders, but if not, ball python is fine.
Whoever,
Obviously,
whoever.
Um, let's say gecko boa. I've got a lot of animal. I'll say a lot, a small collection, but a lot of my animals from him, and I always his animals just pop like on Morph Market when you're scrolling. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
yes, you know how he takes his pictures or whatever, but those animals they're always top of the line, high quality. So I've always
yeah.
liked his animals. So he would definitely be up there as well. Um, it's kind of harder after that too. I have to go with Canova or Justin Cabildo
Okay.
on the ball python side. I know him personally and talk to him a little bit every week, and just learned a lot from him and really respect what he's done in the hobby. Doing it the last 20 years, he's the best in the world. So
Best.
just seeing his facility and how he runs things and everything's real something to strive for on that
Yeah.
standpoint.
Gotcha.
Shoot, those are two. It's getting hard to
Speaking,
go.
speaking
Yeah.
of facilities, I would kill to see John Scarborough's facility, but I know he'll never let me see it. He'll
He'll
never let
kill you
anybody see
if
it.
you can see it.
I know. He's like, I'll show
You're like,
you, but
I'll
I
show
have to
you,
kill
but I
you.
have to kill you. Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely, yeah, I'd pay money to see it. I just want to know what's going on over there. Like,
So we
how are
got
you? Anyway,
John and Canova.
I interrupted you. You have 2 to go. Do you have 2 more?
I'm trying to think. Like those are my.
How about
I
you got-
know.
how about this? Tuba's right here.
I'm
Tuba's right here.
failing on the Mount Rushmore thing.
Don't
Uh,
say hey.
Another one, I guess, would be on the ball python side too. But
Yeah,
Brandon Nixon, I actually am getting him into the Leos too. So
Oh,
he's
nice.
going to be a Leo breeder. So I think he
that's
counts for both.
awesome.
He's kind of just started buying animals from the way he thinks about things or thinks about projects. He's become a big mentor for me. We talk on the phone several nights a week for hours on end about anything and everything. So he's became one of my best
Mhm.
friends in the hobby and has done other species too. So really good guy too. I want to think of another Leo breeder, but a big one that.
I know
Maybe
somebody that I'm surprised you haven't said yet, but
I'm saying maybe you have one that you're going to put up there later. So still
Which
chipping away at your mountain.
wait, I can't. I can't tell your gang signs, Reese.
I don't.
Malave?
I don't
whoa,
speak.
MJ, dude,
Oh,
Oh yeah.
tr- well, yeah.
How embarrassing. No, I'm just kidding.
this
Oh,
is live.
so
This is
he
live.
does. He's gonna kill me. Shh. He's gonna watch him call me. Be like, okay, so he doesn't do leopard gecko breeders. He's really into the green trees, and
Okay,
I'm
I
not
got you.
in there. He does ball pythons too, but his passion are the arboreal
You know
species.
what though? He is one of the best podcasters in reptiles. Like
Yeah.
literally, he's a Mount Rushmore quality guy.
Yes. For podcasting, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, and for breeder of our arboreals and green trees, and he
Yeah.
does good ball pythons too. Yeah, we kind of go back and forth, but on our likes and dislikes. But
Yeah, I heard MJ has nice balls. I haven't seen any yet, but
I'm not gonna comment. I have his wife on my
I
show coming next
I
week.
am
you guys are dirty. I'm talking about pythons, dude.
going to be mature this one time.
Oh
But
Lord,
okay.
if he watches this.
I've seen his racks. They look really nice behind him most days. And,
I've seen his
yeah.
racks, dude.
Yeah.
So
They're very
it's-
nice. I've seen him unbox some as they show up. I've watched a lot of his content. It's actually really good stuff. But Reese, you did that on purpose, bro.
Sorry, dude. I just wanted to make you blush again. It's all good.
Yep.
He's more
We
red than
have,
me, so I'm good.
we have actually hit our hour, and I want to thank everybody for coming on and watching the show. Christa, thank you for offering to join
Yeah,
us. Obviously, it's been a pleasure having you.
Yeah.
If you don't already follow Neuro-Fi Exotics, please, you could find her on any one of our Instagrams, and she does have her own Morph Market account. So let's go follow those as well.
and her own podcast on Trap Talk on Sundays. So
Yes.
check her out.
Do you want to plug
Got
your
one this Sunday,
podcast?
right?
Sure, I'll plug it. Yeah, I appreciate that. So yeah, I'm on Sunday nights. I'm usually at like 9 p.m. Central, but I think I'm gonna start making it a little bit earlier too for my guests on the East Coast, just because it's 10 o'clock for them and it's late. But yeah, join on. I'm on live on YouTube, but we also broadcast to like Spotify and those afterwards. They get posted on there, Apple Podcast. And yeah, join the live show. You can like, subscribe, you get notified because we're every day of the week now bringing to new content. We just had like a couple guys, Eugene Bissett and Vin Russo. I don't know a ton about them, but they're like OGs in the reptile game. So just we bring people like that on too to listen from, and it's really neat too. So people with experience that know what they're talking about most of the time.
That's awesome.
these guys.
Yep.
Check her out. Well, thank you everybody for coming on. Reese, appreciate you, man.
Bye.
Bye.
Christa, good job.